Welcome to the 2010 YRL season, the 10th season of our existence. We've waited a long off season. We had a wonderful draft experience a couple weeks ago. Let's take this time to kind of recap what all went down in the middle of August.
Looking at the Black Widow draft, not a lot of question marks at the top three picks with Ryan Matthews, Wes Welker, and the Packers defense heading out the top three picks after the keepers. The only question marks here are whether Eddie Royal and the Denver offense will be anything worthy of fantasy mention. And Chester Taylor in the last pick, is he going to be worth anything as strictly a third down back in Chicago? But the building blocks are in place for the Black Widow to rebound to those previous lofty heights that the franchise saw under the name the Outlandish Red Zone Heroes. The V-Dub Club, the ever-loving cellar dwellers in the YRL, two-time winners of the Toilet Bowl, looking to put a solid foundation together and decided to start with the defensive side of the ball. The Jets defense should score them a lot of points. Whether that's the right way to build a franchise when Steven Jackson, who has not had a full season and is getting very close to being on the wrong side of 30. Jamal Charles is still on Kansas City last time I checked, but defense seemed to be the biggest need for the V-Dub Club. Hakeem Nicks was a solid pick at 2. Jacoby Jones could be a sleeper. Jermichael Finley dropping all the way where he did was a surprise, but Matt Leinert's already been cut. Rob Bronis is a kicker. Victor Cruz may not really factor as much as he did in that first preseason game. And Josh Morgan may be the sleeper pick of it all. All in all, still a questionable draft for the V-Dub Club. If everyone stays healthy, it might work out. I Love the Giants look to follow up a solid 2009 fantasy football season and bombed with the first pick in the first round with Kevin Cobb, with the Philadelphia quarterback who has shown absolutely nothing in the NFL preseason. Arian Foster was a great pick with the second round, even though the commissioner had previously questioned it when it was made. Jason Witten as a tight end in the third spot, not a lot of production last year, and the Giants' defense remains to be seen what they bring to the table. Derek Mason is looking at a lot of competition in Baltimore. Chad Shillings is a Raider. Jay Feely is a kicker. And Mohamed Massaquoi, who knows what Cleveland is up to? Who knows what I Love the Giants owner Gino Bernardo was up to? The Grizzly Attack looking to get to the lofty heights which led them to 3 YRL titles. Yes, that's right, an unprecedented 3 YRL titles. Used their first pick in the first round, the second overall, on Sean Green, rumored to have been the second choice after Ryan Matthews, who was previously taken by Des Bryant at wide receiver. Steve Breston, who may be a sleeper pick, along with Johnny Knox and Kenny Britt, highlight a very wide receiver heavy draft for the Grizzly Attack. Brian Westbrook's already been released, so overall this may be a solid draft depending on if Des Bryant and Steve Breston can show up. The Irish Brigade shocked the fantasy world by taking CJ Spiller with their first overall pick, then a third-string running back in the preseason. He has now just been named the starting running back for Chan Gailey's rebuilding Buffalo Bills. Matt Moore at the second round was a bit of a reach. The Cowboys' defense should perform. However, 2 tight ends at the end of the draft, because Daylor had to get some sleep, may come back to bite him and send the Irish Brigade to yet another Toilet Bowl appearance. The Red Storm were drafting against the clock as owner John Scafidi was competing with A, his bedtime, and 2, his medication kicking in. They very smartly drafted Mike Wallace out of Pittsburgh with their number 1 overall pick. However, Darren Sproles in the second round was a bit of a reach, and Mark Sanchez may not be the fantasy quarterback all the New York Jets fans wish he was. The fact that Mario Manningham was even selected shows just what a homer Scafidi really is, picking his favorite team, the Giants. David Akers is a solid kicker, however, Michael Vick has virtually no fantasy value. All in all, the Red Storm will ride Chris Johnson to another deep playoff run. The defending Reagan Bowl champion Smallville Crows will not have time to rest on their laurels and enjoy their Ronald Wilson Reagan trophy very long. Trying to defend their title, apparently having a child wasn't enough for Mr. Mercado, as he went Bush early and he went Bush off in taking Michael and Reggie with back-to-back picks. Alex Smith as the quarterback of the 49ers is a question mark at this point. The Patriots defense should be a steady Eddie. Early Doucette and Chris Chambers big gambles at the end of the draft. All in all, here's hoping Frank Gore has another solid season. Otherwise, the Smallville Crows will struggle repeating. The Springfield Isotopes always seem to be scratching at the surface. They were a surprise playoff team after a very parity-filled division run. drafting Brandon Jacobs first, and then Austin Collie as the odd man out in Indianapolis. It remains to be seen what kind of impact he can really have. Brett Favre in the third round probably will not be the quarterback everyone remembers last year. Thomas Jones was a great pick 3 years ago. Devery Henderson is a question mark. Nate Burleson is a question mark. Robbie Gould, the kicker in the final round, is the only sure, guaranteed fantasy performer. It remains to be seen whether Mr. Steve Taylor was awake for this draft at all. The 2008 YRL champion Tyrants had a successful run making the playoffs last year. However, even with Maurice Jones-Drew and D'Angelo Williams, they could not pull off the repeat feat. Going after wide receiver Steve Smith in the first round was smart. The Vikings defense, another solid pick. Jonathan Dwyer has already been dropped. Mike Williams in Tampa, I don't know. The Tyrants seem to be reaching. They came out of nowhere 2 years ago. They'll have to come out of nowhere again. I know what you're thinking, sports fans. How could a team that had Adrian Peterson and Drew Brees not win the YRL last year? I don't have an answer for you. Only owner Dan Trout has an answer. However, Javid Best was a solid pick with his first overall pick. However, after that, it's a train wreck of a draft. Darren McFadden, 2 defenses, a kicker, David Garrard, Josh Cribbs, who? This may be another train wreck of a season if Wes Welker does not come back from an ACL injury, which typically takes 1 full year. We shall see, as Walter Subject's Dirty Undies take the once proud Bushwhackers franchise one step closer to oblivion. The Urbana renewal came in with what was thought to be a solid roster. However, question marks abound now with running backs Marshawn Lynch and Steve Slayton both losing their respective starting jobs. Andre Johnson is the solid wideout as they come. Phillip Rivers can be a good quarterback, and drafting LaShawn McCoy and Justin Forsett may prove to be the smartest move in the draft for them. The Bengals defense should be much more solid than what we remember them as, and rookie Bill Kalish and the Urbana renewal may be a force to reckon with in 2010. White Lightning enter their second year of existence under the control of Allison Buddha. Michael Turner and Matt Schaub look to head up a team that kept 2 tight ends. That's right, folks, 2 tight ends. Antonio Gates, I understand. Brent Selleck catching passes from Kevin Cobb. Good luck with that. Ricky Williams will be sharing time. Lee Evans. Are you kidding me? Lee Evans?
Lee Evans, bitch.
It remains to be seen what the effects of crash course drafting like this will really bring, but it seems to be another uphill battle for the White Lightning. See you in the toilet bowl.
Well, there you have it, folks. We are all ready to go, so let's look at the Week 1 action coming up. It's the Week 1 Blitz. Bring it!
The Black Widow and I Love the Giants get us going on the Week 1 Blitz. The Black Widow are depending on a Giants season from Aaron Rodgers and a tremendous breakout rookie season from running back Ryan Matthews to carry this franchise to the once lofty heights that was the outlandish Red Zone Heroes. For Gino Bernardo's I Love the Giants, Kevin Cobb gets the start under center in place of the suspended Ben Roethlisberger. Ronnie Brown will split time. Arian Foster and Brandon Marshall are question marks. In the end, Gino will screw it up, and the Black Widow will prevail. The Urbana renewal begin their inaugural YRL season, hosting the 3-time YRL champion Grizzly Attack in a revamped lineup that includes Rashard Mendenhall, Sean Green, Terrell Owens, Johnny Knox, and Mike Williams, newly starting, revamped, rejuvenated Mike Williams in Seattle. For the renewal, Phillip Rivers is as solid a quarterback as they come. Andre Johnson, a wide receiver. However, Kellen Winslow and Tony Gonzalez, that makes 2 starting tight ends. The Grizzly Attack will come out on top. The Irish Brigade and Red Storm face off in our first New Jersey battle of the year. Jason Campbell is under center for the Irish Brigade. Ryan Grant and Reggie Wayne head up a top-notch offensive lineup that doesn't include 2 running backs. That's right, folks. The Irish Brigade are putting it in the air this year. On the Red Storm side, I'm sorry, they have Chris Johnson. That's enough. Red Storm comes out on top. The defending champion Smallville Crows will travel to the V-Dub Club for their opening game. For the Smallville Crows, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Frank Gore carried this team last year. Can he do it again? Anquan Bolden in Baltimore is not Anquan Bolden in Arizona. For the V-Dub Club, Peyton Manning should be and could be probably the best quarterback in fantasy football. Ray Rice is primed for a sophomore slump. Steven Jackson is still a Ram. This is a toss-up. Give it to the defending champs. The White Lightning travel to the Tyrants for their Week 1 matchup. Matt Schaub and Michael Turner will lead the White Lightning while Ricky Williams splits time and Calvin Johnson still questions why oh why am I playing in Detroit. Lee Evans somehow is a starter. Believe it or not, folks, he's a starter.
Lee Evans, bitch.
The Tyrants will start Carson Palmer, Maurice Jones-Drew, D'Angelo Williams, Marcus Colston, Steve Smith. Enough said. The Tyrants. Dirty Undies and the Springfield Isotopes are this week's final matchup. For the Dirty Undies, Drew Brees, Marion Barber, and Adrian Peterson, along with Randy Moss, Mike Sims Walker, and even the kicker, makes this a formidable outfit. Matt Ryan is a solid quarterback. He's not Drew Brees. Matt Forte is still a Bear. LaDainian Tomlinson isn't even starting for the Jets, yet he's starting for the Springfield Isotopes. This goes hands down to Walter Sobchak's Dirty Undies.
There you have it, folks. Week 1 in a nutshell. I look forward to keeping you up to date as we go on and upward through the YRL season. Best of luck. We'll see you next week.